With a star leveling, an accusation, and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. For an update on her health, former WWE and current AEW and ROH star Maria Kanellis took to X and wrote, "I went to my doctor's appointment today at Rush. The next steps are blood work and a possible 24-hour urine test. From there, I will be scheduling surgery for most likely sometime in September. The mass I have is borderline what they get concerned about, and biopsy is not an option. I will be having a retroperitoneoscopic adrenalectomy, and they will biopsy the mass after." Talking about the impact the late Andre the Giant had on pop culture and pro wrestling, CM Punk told Roots of Fight, "I think it is really hard for people to understand like how big and athletic Andre was. You know, when he was in his prime, not a whole lot of footage of that, and obviously, famously, 1987 was WrestleMania 3 when Hogan slammed him like he was in the twilight of his career. But he helped usher that rockin' wrestling pop culture era, and nothing would be the same if it wasn't for him." Sticking with CM Punk, he would say this about his match with Drew McIntyre that is coming up, specifically the fact that his rival Seth Rollins will be the special guest referee at SummerSlam, as he told ESPN's First Take. "I don't think he is going to be fair. I don't know if I have the capacity to be nervous about it, because I'm nervous about great other many things leading up to Saturday. I almost can't worry about it." Punk then said this about McIntyre, "I'm done with Drew after Saturday. Yeah, I can put him in my rear view mirror. I can focus on bigger and better things." Going over why Daniel Garcia was written off AEW programming recently, Ringside News wrote that Daniel Garcia faced a major challenge as he aimed to win the AEW International Championship from Will Ospreay. He fell short and was then brutally attacked by MJF earlier this month. The reason for Garcia being written off has now been revealed. At the end of the July 3rd edition of AEW Dynamite special event, Beach Break, MJF made a surprising return that shocked fans. He appeared at ringside to support Daniel Garcia in his AEW International Championship match against Will Ospreay. The match was intense, with both Garcia and Ospreay putting on a great show. Even though Garcia fought hard, Will Ospreay managed to keep his championship. After the match, Ospreay showed respect to Garcia, but things took a dramatic turn when MJF came into the ring. Instead of congratulating Garcia, MJF attacked him brutally, leaving him bloodied. He even knocked down officials who tried to stop him before quickly escaping through the crowd. The show ended with Garcia being taken out on a stretcher as MJF left through the audience. While speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez noted that Daniel Garcia was written off AEW television by MJF as a precaution in case Garcia decides not to re-sign with the company when his contract expires. Alvarez explained that the angle was set up knowing Garcia might not return, but if he does come back, there is a potential storyline feud with MJF. Alvarez added that Garcia had been contemplating his future and had mentioned to others that he was considering his options. While it is not certain whether Garcia will return or leave, the storyline departure was part of the plan due to the uncertainty surrounding his contract status. What I know is that when he did that angle, they were aware that he might not be back, and so the angle was done in case he doesn't come back. And if he does come back, then they've got a storyline feud with MJF. I know he had been thinking about it, or he had told people he had been thinking about what he was going to do, which he should do. I don't think it's 100% that he's coming back, but I don't think that he has re-signed or decided to leave yet. But that was one of the reasons he was taken out in storyline. We have also reported that Daniel Garcia's AEW contract is set to expire in October this year. Therefore, we will have to wait and see whether Garcia will remain with the company in the end, as fans feel he more than deserves to stay with AEW. Revealing those that are set for a WWE tryout, Ringside News wrote that according to PW Insider, Artillion Trill Williams, 24, who played football for Syracuse University, will be one of the participants in this week's WWE tryouts during SummerSlam weekend in Cleveland. WWE has a history of successful crossover stars from the football world, including The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Baron Corbin. It remains to be seen if Trill Williams will join that list. Williams played in 28 games for Syracuse, recording 93 tackles, 4 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, and 3.5 tackles for loss over 3 seasons. He opted out of the 2020 season to enter the NFL draft and was signed by both the Miami Dolphins and the New Orleans Saints, although he never officially played for either team. Elijah Holyfield, the son of legendary boxer Evander Holyfield, is also set for the tryouts. The 26-year-old played for the Philadelphia Eagles and has been on the practice squads for the Carolina Panthers and the Cincinnati Bengals. His father, Evander Holyfield, once boxed Matt Hardy on an episode of WWE Saturday Night's Main Event. As former NWA Women's Champion Kamille has made her AEW debut recently, commentator for the promotion Jim Ross recalled how she reached out to him prior to her appearance. They got plans for her. She's got a great look. I've been texting with her in the last month a few times. She's reached out just for advice and things of that nature. My advice to all the talent is pretty much all the same. Don't be late, be prepared, mentally and physically, for your role that particular night. Look at every opportunity as just that, an opportunity to get exposure. She got good exposure on Wednesday night, I thought, and she dresses up that roster because she's got such a good look, so athletic. So I think that's a nice addition. I think that's a good hire. You may have seen former WWE referee Jimmy Korderas explain how a chair shot cannot be gimmicked. This was in reference to Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer claiming the chair used to hit AEW star Jack Perry in the head was gimmicked. Here's the clip as a refresher.
Here we are with a folding steel chair. Guess what? It's not gimmicked. You know why? Because you can't gimmick these things. So get it out of your head. It isn't possible. If it's made of wood, maybe you could shave it down a little bit, but guess what? Steel chairs? That's what you get. Thank you.
After posting this, Korderas received threats from fans as he wrote, "I'm done with this ridiculous BS. You can say what you want about me, I could give a F. If you talk about my family, you were the lowest piece of on the planet, period." AEW's QT Marshall replied, "I may disagree with some of the stuff Jimmy says, but that doesn't mean I condone the way some of our fans speak on this app." Originally, Marshall had said this to Korderas in response to the video. "You have zero clue what you're speaking of. If you would like, you can come to AEW and we can show you what we do to protect the talent. Or you can continue to be ignorant. Take your pick." For the record, I'm not mad at Jimmy Korderas. I'm not mad at anyone for having an opinion on chair shots. My argument was that he didn't understand how we gimmick a chair. I've sent him the DM, he responded. End of it. He's earned the right to get the DM. When it comes to WWE's view on the impending retirement of Meiko Satomura, Ringside News noted that Meiko Satomura, the renowned Japanese professional wrestler, signed with WWE in 2021. After a very long hiatus from WWE, she made her in-ring return for the company this week as part of WWE's live events in Japan. She also announced her impending retirement, and now WWE's reaction to the same has been revealed. Satomura held the NXT UK Women's Championship and showcased her skill against top competitors in the NXT Women's Division. She then made her WWE in-ring return on July 26th in Japan, which was her first match in the company since Roadblock 2023. At a press conference in Japan on Saturday, Satomura revealed that she will have her final match in April 2025 to mark her 30th anniversary in wrestling. Tokyo Sports had reported the day before that Satomura was contemplating retirement. She also announced that she will be wrestling a series of matches for her own promotion, Sendai Girls, starting in September and is open to working with other promotions as well. AEW's Emi Sakura, who attended the press conference, expressed her desire to face Satomura before she retires. According to Fightful Select, only Satomura and WWE executives know the reasons for her absence from WWE programming. NXT talent believes Satomura is likely focused on completing her WWE contract with no current plans for her return to NXT television. Regarding her use on WWE television, there are no indications of plans for her involvement, and a potential WrestleMania match was viewed with skepticism. NXT personnel were not surprised by Satomura's retirement announcement, given her limited involvement with the brand over the past 18 months. Those who worked with Satomura in NXT UK and NXT praised her coaching, though there is regret about her shorter stint on the brand. Sources suggest that Satomura is concentrating on expanding her promotion, Sendai Girls, which she founded in 2005. Asked about a self-proclaimed title of being the king of NXT, Lexis King said this on Busted Open Radio. People can parade around their belts and their gold all they want, but at the end of the day, I'm on the show every week and people are tuning in to see me. When I come on, the ratings go up. When things happen, who's in between it all? I make all the moments happen here at NXT. I'll give Ethan Page his credit. He came in here in a short span of 6 weeks. He put himself on top, but I've been in this picture since the day I got here, and I'm not going anywhere. Ethan Page, congratulations. Trick Williams, he's got the crowd behind him, but the king is here to stay, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. Expressing how he felt following his winning of the ROH six-man tag team title with Ross and Marshall Von Erich, Dustin Rhodes said this on AEW's YouTube channel. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you for just a second. This is a surreal moment for me. I'm 55 years old and I've been doing this a long time. 36 years. I promise you this from the bottom of my heart. I had no idea this was going to be so special. The two families we have here, the Von Erichs and the Rhodes, I never in a million years thought I would be standing here with the Von Erichs in the ring and winning six-man gold. It is an incredible honor to be standing here in front of you, Kevin, and your two boys who are unbelievably athletic. They are just going to shoot to the moon because of the talent they have. It is incredible to watch these guys perform, even with my big old ass out there selling and watching them do drop kicks higher than anybody in the world. I've won a lot of titles over these 36 years, and titles are very special in this business. Everybody who gets into the pro wrestling industry wants, or should want, to be world heavyweight champion. That hasn't come to me, but of all the titles I've won, I can honestly say this one feels the best. This one feels the rightest. This is Texas, baby. That's what we do. I don't know if this match was thought of a month ago, but it came together pretty quickly, and by God, we're standing here. The Rhodes and the Von Erichs, the ROH six-man world tag team champions. Giving his perspective on CM Punk's venture into mixed martial arts and UFC, The Undertaker told Demetrius Johnson on the MightyCast, "One thing with Punk that I do respect is the fact that he tried it. He had a huge name in wrestling before he tried mixed martial arts. He had a lot to lose because wrestling was his moneymaker, and then you go over to MMA and get your ass handed to you. I had a lot of respect for him and the fact that he gave it a shot. It was something he wanted to do. He did it. It didn't work out, and he's back where he should be, and everything is right in the world." For more information regarding the unveiling of the AEW American Championship that is held by MJF, Ringside News wrote that MJF and Will Ospreay feud added a new aspect with the debut of the American title in the July 24th episode of AEW Dynamite. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select reported that after winning the international title, Ospreay suggested putting over Swerve Strickland at Forbidden Door to avoid speculation about a match at All In. This suggestion was due to Ospreay's creative plans for a match against against MJF at All In, which had been in place for months. There was reportedly uncertainty about whether the full 1-hour match was planned from the start, as discussions took place in the weeks leading up to it. However, plans for Ospreay and MJF to feud throughout the summer, culminating at AEW All In, were established long before MJF's return to AEW. It was also reported that the belief within AEW is that the introduction of the American Championship was a temporary move to increase heat on MJF ahead of All In at Wembley. The goal for the International Championship is to continue to elevate its status. Mentioning moves that he received when wrestling the likes of Booker T and Goldberg in WCW, Bret Hart noted on the Signed by Superstars live stream, "Man, that's a really dangerous move, that one." Bret said while looking at a photo of Booker T doing the scissor kick to him, "When he did that to me, it drove my head right into the mat. Between him and Goldberg, they were trying to kill me. That was a really dangerous move. I had to tell him to stop. He couldn't do it to me anymore. He did it to me 2 or 3 times, and every time he did it, drove my head right into almost right through the boards." Touching on his match against Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia, Goldberg said this to Chris Van Vliet: "No, it sucks. I had COVID 3 weeks before I was asked to do it. It was horrible. No, it was a favor. It was my job. I'm not going to say no. I've never said no, really. I was asked to wrestle twice a year, and they were caught between a rock and a hard place, and I was their answer. I feel like I did him a favor, and that's why I thought that the favor would be reciprocated, but it is what it is." During that same interview, Goldberg mentioned his return to WWE in 2016 for his second run with the promotion, saying, "If you look back and you're just strategic in what you're looking at, there was a time in my run where I started spearing guys with my left shoulder. Why do you think that happened? Because I tore my rotator cuff the first night I went back with Brock. And I didn't tell anybody, and I worked around it the whole time. Certain situations I could work around, and certain times I couldn't." Jackhammer on the Fiend. "In pain, that's an understatement. I couldn't lift my arm for 5 or 6 years. But yet again, it's one of those things where I chose to keep it to myself, because if I'd have said anything, God forbid, I go to get surgery and Vince McMahon needs me. Or if I go get surgery without telling anybody, my luck is 2 weeks after I get done, he's gonna call and want me to go wrestle, so I just stuck it out." And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.